Eamonn Holmes has issued a heartbreaking update about his friend, James Whale, who has terminal cancer. The TalkTV host, 74, is currently being cared for in a hospice after telling fans he is at the end of his journey following his stage 4 kidney cancer diagnosis in 2021. Dad of 4, Eamonn, 65, who has been battling his own health concerns in recent years, went to visit James with him as celebrity star, Christopher Biggins at the weekend, and revealed that their friend may tragically die this week in devastating news. Issuing a fresh health update for the presenter on GB News, Eamonn explained how James' illness is now impacting his vocal cords, making it hard for him to communicate with his loved ones. It comes after James gave a devastating insight into his cancer diagnosis last month. Speaking on his GB News show today, Eamonn said, "A friend of ours, James Whale, who I have been to see, is nearing the end of his life, maybe this week." As his guest Christopher Biggins revealed that the pair went to visit James at the hospice over the weekend, the former Strictly star said, "We went on Saturday to see him, and he looks terrific, I have to say, and it was great to see him, but it's his voice that's the trouble." The irony of being a journalist and using his voice on the radio brilliantly over the years, but now his voice is going. Giving viewers an insight into what James' care facility is like after he made the move to a hospice this week, Christopher added, "What was so wonderful is the hospice that he's staying in, which I think needs something like £12 million a year or something to survive. It was just wonderful. The nurses were phenomenal, so he's being looked after royally, and I think that keeps him going, funnily enough. And he has a wonderful room with a view of trees and wonderful squirrels coming in to see him." James recently revealed he was struggling to breathe, think and talk as he entered week 7 of his 12-week prognosis back in July. The host had remained committed in sharing updates with his fans as he carried on his podcast, Tales of the Whales, alongside his wife Nadine. On the final, emotional episode posted on Saturday, August 2nd, recorded after half a century as a broadcaster, James issuing a 6-word statement to listeners. The radio star has been battling cancer for the past 5 years and has been dealing with 20 tumors throughout his body, including in his brain, spine, and lungs. Doctors recently informed James he has just weeks left to live, leaving his friends, family, and fans heartbroken. A touching clip from the columnist's last podcast was recently shared on TalkTV, with the journalist summoning the strength to say to his wife Nadine, "We've had a good time together, haven't we?" A supportive Nadine, who was next to him while the episode was being recorded, replied, "The best," before James whispered the words "I love you" to her. Clearly emotional, Nadine said, "I love you too. Shall we sign off on the podcast now?" If you have been affected by this story, information and support can be found at You Can Contact Macmillan Cancer Support.